Now, we've got to move on to the nuclear energy debate again, and we've spoken plenty of times with 18-year-old Will Shackel, the founder of Nuclear for Australia. He's just returned from a trip to the United States where he attended a nuclear energy course and toured the Diablo Canyon power plant in California. And along the way, he busted a few myths, including the old three-eyed fish. Have a look.
Come with me as I go fishing for three-eyed fish outside the Diablo Canyon nuclear power plant.
We set off early in the morning from Avila Beach. Diablo is on the coast of California and teems with local wildlife. We even saw a group of feral sea lions flip over a boat. Fortunately, the thick fog and security zone prevented us from actually seeing it. As soon as we dropped the reel, fish started biting immediately, one after another. So did any of them have three eyes? Not that I could see.
Will Shackel joins me now from Brisbane. Great stuff, Will. You're becoming now a social media megastar. But the serious point here is that Diablo Canyon was a controversial power plant. A lot of people wanted to get rid of it, but it's becoming increasingly important for California, of course, supplying huge amounts of power, reliable power, because they're in all sorts of strife with their renewable push.
They really are. It is the largest nuclear power plant remaining in California, provides about 9% of their power, enough for 3 million homes. And I thought it was really important to show people that there is so much ecological diversity around the Diablo Canyon nuclear plant. Obviously, I went there to fish for three-eyed fish. It was a wildly unsuccessful trip, unfortunately. I was inspired by our politicians in Australia who had been showing and sharing on social media that there was three-eyed fish outside nuclear power plants. So I went across the Pacific to see for myself. And unfortunately, Chris, as that video can show, all of the fish that I did catch had two eyes, unfortunately. So I think it was one of the many things I learned there in California was that what we're being told by our politicians in Australia does not actually stack up to the reality of nuclear power, and I was really glad to see that for myself.
Well, actually, this safety and security issue is just such a furphy, and Labor have been silly to try and run it. I mean, we're all watching the Olympics unfold in Paris, and because all of that is powered, 80% by nuclear energy in France, where it happily lives alongside agriculture and major cities. And you actually toured the plant and had a look at operations there. You got up close and personal and even touched the water in the plant. Have a look at this.
This is not smoke, it's water vapour. It's just like the water here, which I can safely touch. Nuclear is safe.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, and demonstrating what those cooling towers are all about is important. But Will, did you find it informative to actually be there up close and get a tour of the operation?
I think it really was. That was actually the newest nuclear power plant in America, the Vogtle nuclear power station, where the two reactors there are the first nuclear reactors built in the US in more than 30 years. And I thought it was an incredible experience to be able to actually be there, to put my hand through the cooling tower water, because Australian politicians recently have been saying that water use is an issue with nuclear, even though it goes through those cooling towers, it's not radiated like many people believe. And I thought it was really important to bust that myth about nuclear. So I think being there in person, being able to even see the nuclear waste, to see for myself that it wasn't leaky green goo in yellow barrels like our energy minister has been suggesting, I think just goes to show that we're being lied to in Australia. We're being sold a narrative of fear around nuclear power, and that's not in the best interest of this country. At the end of the day, I think what the biggest takeaway for me was that all those nuclear plants I was visiting would be illegal in Australia, and that simply does not make any sense.
It is nuts. Thanks for joining us again, Will, and congratulations on your work. Look up Will and Nuclear for Australia on Instagram and the like, and you can follow his exploits and get some more information on all this.